So we're at a new area that we weren't sure would pan out, but by the looks of things, now that we're down here, it's looking like it's going to pan out. So, and there's quite a bit of it. So here we go. Pretty piece of green and part of like an old scalloped edge plate. Too bad we didn't bring our water down. I think it's part of an old insulator. It's glass, but it's very beat up. A pretty piece. It's like 93 degrees today and very sunny, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll clean everything up. I like the crackling. I think those might go together. Ooh, boy. It's almost like a bookend. That is large. Mark, come look at this one. I think this is my favorite piece so far. It's almost like a bookend. Wish I could get the color like on the camera better, but... nice piece. Yeah. One of my favorite things is to find pieces that have some of the, it's not wanting to focus, but some of the logo on it, so I can probably look that up. Looks like IH something J and something Hall, England? I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but cool. Clean this off because I can see it has writing, but all I can tell is it says Columbus. Also, my husband found this. Part of a little teacup or something.
Teacup?
Yeah.
Got a spot of tea by the river?
Might not hold very much. Not sure what we did to make this poor female duck so mad. Not sure what kind of duck she is. I'll have to look it up, but I don't think she's a female mallard or a female wood duck. Maybe a female teal, but the whole time we've been down here, she's just swam around yelling at us. I don't know if you can hear her. I wish I had food, but I don't. I am just really on the tiles lately. This is just kind of a plain one, but it has words. AFT Co. So I will look that up and get back to you guys. Also seeing this. Oh, it's very hot. I have sweat in places I didn't think I could sweat, to be honest. Probably close to 100 degrees out here. Ugh. Sad that it's not whole, but still pretty cool. Ooh, and it has a way to look it up.
A little hot.
My husband, if I can talk right, it's very hot. He doesn't like to film his own stuff, so he just kind of pops into mine sometimes. That says Warwick Spick and Company, Chicago, maybe? Pick and Company, Chicago? I'll have to look that up. I've never heard of that one. It's a hefty mug. Ooh. Very nice. Maybe like a porcelain flower pot or something? That's kind of strange. Cool. We met up with the little duck again, who's kind of hiding behind a rock. I don't know if you can see her, but... Also, if you can hear that yelling, we're kind of by a ballpark and they're having some games, so I hope the kids are winning. Sounds like mass chaos. When was the last time they came in like a can like that, though?
I think it might be like a
limited edition or something?
Dipping sauce, like...
Well, I mean, I know it's a dipping sauce, but like I've never seen one in like a can like that. Like, I wonder how old it is.
You put it in there and you like microwave it like it's...
Oh.
I don't know.
Is it old?
I don't know.
We'll keep it and look it up. If anything, at least it gets it out of the water.
Just 2 days.
Okay. Vanna White is presenting this. See if we can see it. I thought it was sea glass at first. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's actually a piece of flint that almost looks like sea glass. It's beautiful. If you guys can't see it, I'll show it at the roundup. Wow, that is probably the best piece I've seen. Oh, hold on. There's Vanna White doing his thing. There he is. Might be like the oldest piece that we've found so far.
Piece of a handle there.
There's some very crude flowers, and then on the other side, some like porcelain. That would have been really pretty hole. The outside is like a rock consistency, kind of. Strange, but it looks pretty old. So cool hole. Someday we'll get one, but it's a Newark one. Newark, Ohio. Fairly close to where we live, within an hour.
Every time I come out, I find pieces of a Coke one day.
Yeah, that straight-sided Coke that was only part of it was very sad. It was a heartbreaker. This one is too. We'll keep it anyway, though. We don't find, I think it might be some agate on there. But we watch Paleo Chris YouTube channel and Wild Kyle. They both are down in like Georgia and Florida, and when they put black lights on some of this, it looks really cool. So we're gonna try it at home and see what it looks like. Not super old, but I collect Homer Laughlin, and Homer Laughlin did the Fiesta Wear pattern. I've got a book on it, so I'm gonna keep it. I like the color.
Fancy rock.
And my husband found a fancy rock. Part of a milk bottle. We have yet to find a whole one, but I've bought a couple. And then this would have been pretty large. Yeah, like a crockery. Cool. Okay, before I start, I wanted to apologize for not getting to people's comments sooner. I actually had it set on an accident to only show me published comments, which is silly because I can't publish them until I've reviewed them. So I've since then reviewed and published all of the comments. So I wasn't ignoring you, I just am still trying to figure out YouTube a little bit, so I apologize for that. So the lighting might be kind of bad. It is dark here, so I'm going by artificial lighting, but I'll go over some of the items and some of what I found out about the items. I'll start with this one to kind of get it out of the way. It's pretty large. Oh, my husband's gonna help me cut myself a little. It's a Fiesta, the HLC. I already knew, I didn't have to do any research on this. It's Homer Laughlin China. I actually have a book on it. I collect it. I wasn't able to find the exact bowl, but I did find a plate that's similar. And I think it might be cobalt blue. Or possibly even, now that I'm really looking at it, there's a couple of different kind of looks like this blue. I'm not sure if that's cobalt blue or not. These were the different colors that they did when they brought it back. Perhaps sapphire? Looks a little bit too dark to be periwinkle, but I'll keep looking. But Fiesta Wear started in 1936 and went to 1973 by Homer Laughlin. And then it actually was revitalized because so many people liked it that they also had an ironstone that went until 1969. But then there's Contemporary Fiesta. In early 1986 they reissued some different ones in different colors, and then there's yet another one that's Fiesta Wear 2000. So Fiesta Wear is highly collectible but also a little bit confusing to research sometimes, so I'll look into it. We're talking about maybe putting a candle in it to repurpose it, so there's that one. Now I've got a little bit more room to work with. We'll start with the Heartbreaker. This is a Coke hobble skirt, and it's from Newark, Ohio, which is where we were at the time. So someday we'll find a whole one. We tried to look up some information on this. Obviously, it's not super old. It's a Tostitos, but we weren't able to find any that weren't in glass jars. So if anybody has seen one of these and knows kind of what year it's from, like I was thinking maybe 70s or 80s, but I couldn't find anything. Just let me know in the comments. This has a little bit of a pink hue to it, so I think it has some manganese in it. But it's part of a milk. I haven't found a whole milk before, but someday. This I think is part of a glass insulator. It's pretty beat up, almost like sea glass. It's pretty hefty.
What a threaded on it.
Yeah, you can see the threads. It's pretty hefty. So that's neat. This one here, unfortunately, I'm still trying to look it up. There wasn't enough of it to really look up so far, but I'm still looking. I was able to find out some information about a couple of other items though. This one, Warwick Pick and Company, Chicago. Some of the information about it. Let me grab my paper. So it's Albert Pick and Company, Warwick, Chicago. They pretty much did all hotel wear, so this would have been a mug at a hotel. They were organized in 1857 when Albert was a young Austrian immigrant. They started on Randolph Street in Chicago, and they had to rebuild everything in 1871. Everything was reduced to rubble in the Great Fire of 1871 that happened in Chicago. So, pretty interesting. Yeah. And then I was also able to find some information about this one, the KT&K. I actually have a couple of other pieces by these people. It's Knowles, Taylor and Knowles. But I hadn't seen this logo before, so I didn't know right off the bat that that's who it was. But I do have other pieces by them. This logo was used between 1905 and 1929. The company was located in East Liverpool, Ohio, and it was founded by Isaac W. Knowles in 1853. So it's pretty cool. Looks like it would have been a bowl of some sort. And then the last thing that I did a little bit of research on was this one. I thought it was AFT, but it's actually AET company, and that stands for the American Encaustic, I have no idea if I said that right, tiling company. It's ENCAUSTIC, tiling company. It was founded in New York, New York in 1875, later established a factory in Zanesville, Ohio, Zanesville is about 45 minutes from where we were. In 1892, Zanesville tripled in size over a 30-year period as more people found work with this company. The firm closed in 1935. They made a lot of different tiles. There's a lot of catalogs. Apparently, some of the tiles, some of the artistic ones are very valuable. I always wonder how many of the other tiles I've found are also by them, but this is the only one I've seen that actually has the writing on it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all of our tiles that we found around the Zanesville area, that would be...
Which is most of our tiles, yeah.
Would be most likely where they possibly had come from.
This is my husband's rock that he liked.
A fancy rock.
I think he has plans to make something out of it.
Possibly a video coming with me making something out of it.
Mm-hmm. This is another item that he found. I don't know if it was... It feels kind of like a flower pot on the outside, but then on the inside it's normal porcelain, so I don't know if it had been like a cup maybe of some sort. But it's pretty cool. It looks like it was glazed. You can kind of see the glazing a little bit still. This one I wasn't able to find any information on. There's not enough of it. Looks like it says ILDRO. So I looked up Ildro, I looked up Kildron. It looks like it would have been maybe a medicine bottle. If anybody knows what this could be, please let me know in the comments. But that would have been nice to find whole. Found a little piece of just kind of granite, like a countertop or something. I thought it was pretty. When it's wet, it's especially pretty. All of the different colors. We always seem to find little bits and pieces of these. I think I've only found one or two whole ones before. The mason jar inserts. Mark, will you grab the UV light for this? This is the agate. Now, we did look at it under UV light already, and I don't know if we don't have the right type of UV light, because I know that the other YouTube channels I had mentioned earlier in the video use a couple of different ones, but we didn't really see much of a difference. We turn out the light. You can kind of see the banding, but it doesn't quite look the same. So I don't know if we need a different wavelength of UV light, but it's still really pretty. We didn't find any uranium glass this time. We checked with the UV light, but you can see some of the druzy, I think, in there. So we're gonna keep it. This one, I can tell says Columbus, and then flipped the other way it says ENTE something. It's not enough information to really look up. If anybody knows what this could be, let me know in the comments. It's pretty thick.
Been an older.
Yeah, something older. And it looks like it has like a diamond, like a sideways diamond, half of one on it, but. And we've got just this pretty piece of porcelain here. Looks like it would have had a flower. I always tend to find this strange stained glass in different places. I found a couple of pieces on the trip, but I find it so often I didn't video all of it. I'm gonna do some sort of craft with them at some point. Just a piece of bowl or something. This is the piece of teacup that my husband found.
To have a spot of tea down at the river.
Yeah. So I think it's ironstone, actually. It's pretty hefty for a teacup. I liked the color of this. It's just a pretty green. This is my massive, it looks better when it's wet. I might put some sort of clear sealant on it to kind of make it look perpetually wet. I am not sure, but I figured it would make a just good decoration. It kind of just sits like that already. It's very, very pretty. I wish I could get the color to show up on video correctly, but it's massive. My hands are kind of small, but if you kind of look at it in regards to my hands, it's a pretty big chunk. Then we got this. I saw it had writing, so I took it, but it just says made in Canada. It's a strange color of green. It's not the normal like green that you would see. So it's pretty, but it's not uranium glass. I liked the color of this. It looks like it would have been some sort of crockery or small preserve jar or something, but it's blue. Just some random pieces of different porcelains. This one would have been like a scalloped edge plate design. It's another piece of, I like the crackled look. Or crazing, I guess is what it's called, the crazed look. And this would have been something, like a pot or something. And this piece here, which would have been really neat, whole. It looks very old. I think it's probably the oldest thing that we found. But I think this would have been part of like a handle. And I think that's a rudimentary flower. It's very pretty. And then I think my favorite find I saved for last. This is probably the best piece of flint I've ever found. I thought it was stained glass, or slag glass, I'm sorry, but it's actually flint. It's like jewel grade flint. We were fairly close to Flint Ridge. If you look that up, they have some flint quarries there that are world renowned. So I think maybe this had come down the river somehow from that, because they're famous for this kind of reddish orange in their flint. So pretty neat. So also our computer did die. I think it's the hard drive, so we're going to need a new one. So I actually had to download a different app to edit the videos on. So I won't have they won't look the same. I won't be able to put photos in between. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And I also haven't been able to figure out how to put a title page on it. So I'm still working through that until we get a new laptop. I'm doing everything on my tablet. So I apologize in advance for that. But, yep, this is our haul. It was a pretty good day. I'll see you next time.